Hey everyone, Kanai in Tokyo here, and before anything else, I would like to say, 登録者1000人突破しました! And it's all because of you guys I am able to reach my first milestone, and I really hope I can deliver it to you guys moving forward. Now to the video. Without wasting any more time, I would like to share with you guys the manners you should know in order to live in Japan at ease. And of course, like everything else, you don't necessarily have to know the proper manners in order to live in Japan, but it will definitely help you blend in better in society and live up to their expectations, especially when you want to stay here long term. So starting off, the first in this list is Japanese hand gestures. So hand gestures is one of Japanese's way of expressing what they want to say or portray. It is widely used in work and also with your friends. I personally actually use this even when I'm with foreigner friends who live in Japan, which is kinda weird when you think about it. One gesture that is often used in Japan is this, which means oide, kochikite, or which literally means come here. I know this is also used for a lot of animes when they're trying to call someone, you know, like come here. In my observation, I actually noticed that it is oftenly used by men versus women, but I don't really know. And in smaller companies in Japan, it's actually used more often by your boss or joshi when they want to call you in their desk. For example, Kanai-san, Kanai-san, chotto, kite. Hi. If they have a Nice-in system or the inner call system, the inner landline, so you call it, they'll probably use that. Another hand gesture would be oftenly used when you are in a conversation. So let's say you are referring to yourself, you say, watashi, boku, ore. Ore 使わないよな。俺だって俺だもんな。Ore is not really a respectful thing, so I guess if you say ore, it doesn't make sense. And if you are trying to refer to someone, for example, the person you are talking to, you say kimi, so you use your entire hand to point it to someone. Because if you're just pointing to someone that is very disrespectful, it's like, how do you say? You're like yobiste someone? How do you say yobiste in English? And I kind of learned this the hard way because one time I was having a conversation with my boss and I accidentally referred to him as this. And of course, I'm a Japanese citizen under some expectations of being a Japanese. I almost got fired that month for doing so. Learn your hand gestures, people. It helps. Speaking of hand gestures, the next hand gesture I'm about to show you is something that you would use often when you're getting too much compliments from work and saying no to them, literally. So if your boss is keeping on telling you like you're doing good with your projects or you're ahead of time with everything, this generally is oftenly used to portray that you're being modest and showing your humbleness to your boss because that matters in the long run, trust me. The next hand gesture I'm about to show you is, for me, actually more oftenly used in drinking parties where your friends and acquaintances get to ask you more personal questions. In situations like, for example, you're talking about this girl you just had lunch the other day, you would say like, あれ? あの人って No. Which means like the other guy is saying like, is she your girlfriend or 付き合ってるの? Are you dating? And for boyfriends, girls would usually do that. Girl to girl talk tends to be more direct, so they'll probably just say 彼氏なの? Another hand gesture you would usually use in a drinking party is, for example, you are talking to a guy and you think he's gay, but you don't know and you want to confirm it, you just say like, hey, are you this? Which means, are you gay? And in Japan, you don't usually use the word gay or doseaisha in terms of asking people, we just usually do the hand gesture. The next one I would actually like to talk to you guys about is body language in Japan. And no, I'm not talking about some motivational shit that will give you more confidence via body language, but more so on body language that will actually help you get through basic Japan life. So for one is bowing. Bowing is actually a major part of Japanese culture. They even teach deers to bow in Nara because it is really a major sign of respect. So Japanese people tend to have bow angles, from greeting, from showing signs of respect, to even apologizing from their wrongdoings. For example, bowing with a 15-degree angle would actually mean that you're trying to greet someone, for example, your friend, your coworker of the same social rank, or even just your neighbor. And 30 degrees, on the other hand, is basically used when you're trying to interact with someone who is of higher social rank than you. For example, your boss, it could be your in-laws, or basically anyone who you think is over you in some way. And of course, lastly is dogeza. Dogeza is used when you have made a very grave mistake. If you have performed a mistake of that extent that would actually make you perform the dogeza, the other person usually forgives you. Unless, of course, you're one of those like Yakuza people, then you have to perform the dogeza, which is the bowing, and the yubitsume, which means the cutting of your pinky finger. I know I'm saying this very lightly right now, but don't join the Yakuza, you know. It's illegal. Yakuza, no allowed. Yakuza. And of course, don't forget to not curve your back when you're bowing because you're gonna break your back if you keep on bowing in Japan. Another body language that I actually like to share with you guys is nodding. So nodding yes and no. I think there's so many ways of saying yes to someone. I'll definitely leave that for another video. For confirming statements, you actually say hai and nodding vertically, and which is actually used more for older people. So one way of saying no is nodding horizontally, which means you do this, no. You may also use the hand gesture of no by doing this. So nodding your head horizontally and doing the no gesture with your hands, so no. Let's say you are in a restaurant and the waitress asks you if you want more drinks. You can just say iie kekko desu, which means no, I'm fine, thank you, and they will be on their way, usually, unless they love to harass people. The next topic I would like to discuss is how Japanese people give value to their business card, or one's business card. In Japanese business culture, they actually give value to your business card, since the other person has gotten out of their way just to give you a business card for future connections and collaborations. People really do give value and respect for the fact. Usually when you're about to go to a meeting with the person you just met, you actually start by giving out your business card. So you exchange business cards and you actually leave it on the table and only keep it after they leave. Keeping it right after you receive it is actually a big no-no, because Japanese people will think that you're not as important, and trust me, Japanese people think that way, especially salespeople. If you are a foreigner person living in Japan and doing sales, it is really best to avoid this mistake because it's gonna cost you a lot, literally. The fourth one I would like to discuss about is actually how people have fun with karaoke in Japan. If you guys didn't know, karaoke is actually a huge aspect of having fun in Japan, where people just pick songs and generally feel the joy of just singing with your friends. I do know some foreigners in Japan actually feel awkward when they get asked out to karaoke, but for Japanese people, it's actually pretty normal to sing in karaoke. Whether you have a bad voice or a very good voice, it doesn't really matter for Japanese people. The fact is, you just have to have fun. But one thing that really matters in karaoke is actually taking turns in your song choice. Don't be the person who just puts 3 to 5 songs in a row that you would sing in a row. That's not good at all. So take turns, make sure everyone gets to sing, and if someone didn't get to sing, make sure to mention them, because that would mean that, you know, they're cheating. You're not going to karaoke to just watch you sing, they should sing as well. Besides, if they pick a song that you also like anyway, chances are you can sing it with them. Of course, given the permission that you can sing with them, you should. The last one in this list actually takes a bit of getting used to, which is the omiyage culture in Japan. Omiyage literally means souvenir that you give to your friends, family, and even co-workers when you just return from a trip from another place. You can buy this in a form of food or merchandise that is usually found in all of the major stations and airports in Japan. Typically, a Japanese person would actually allot time just to get the perfect souvenir that is local to that place. An example would be if you just came back from Kyoto, usually people expect you to go back with yatsuhashi, which is a Japanese confectionery that is local to that area. In Japan, omiyage is really a huge deal. Once you have told your coworkers that you're going somewhere in some place, preparing a budget for your omiyage is a must. Sometimes I would actually go somewhere without telling my workmates because I didn't want to prepare a budget for that. If you have made it this far into the video, thank you guys so much for watching, and leave a comment down below. Did you actually enjoy this sit-down video, or do you want me to make more travel videos in Japan? And if you are new to this channel, definitely hit that subscribe button. It helps me out a lot, and it's been nice, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Bye!